Hello there, good people. Hi, Jason with Green Country Agroforestry here. I'm glad you could join us as we're harvesting this plant right here, Urtica dioecia, or stinging nettle. Now, if you've ever had the experience of encountering this plant in the wild somewhere, brushing up against it with bare hands, bare arms, bare legs, you might be wondering, why in the world would somebody want to grow this particular plant? But I've got to tell you, despite the fact that it does sting, and that's why we wear gloves when harvesting it, this is probably one of the most nutrient herbs you can have growing in your garden. You just might not want to have it in your main walkways. Let's have a look at this thing. Now, on closer inspection, you can see a square stem akin to a mint, although this one is not a mint, and a lot of stiff, tiny spines. Those are called trichomes that are right there. That's where the sting is, and it does not feel pleasant. However, these trichomes are knocked off during the process of drying and cooking, and what we're going to do with these is harvest the leaves themselves, dry those to a powder, at which point they will be up to 40% crude protein by weight, and high in vitamins A, vitamin C, vitamin K, magnesium, more calcium than milk. We just add that to soups, stews, and rice. In rice, it's about 1 tablespoon of the powder per quarter cup of rice. Easy peasy, and you get really good nutrition right out of your yard, even if you can't rely on the grocery stores. If I'd been thinking about it, I probably would have grabbed the sickle. The sickle would probably be a better tool. Our nettle has other benefits as well. You may notice that a lot of these have little tiny grasshoppers on them. The little pinhead grasshoppers starting to come out this time of year. Early in the year, we'd have aphids come out because these nettle leaves are high in nitrogen. The nitrogen, of course, later on is converted into protein. That's why they're high in protein whenever they're dried. But whenever they're fresh and green, they're high in nitrogen. So that's an attractant to those pest species. You let those pest species come in, start attacking your nettles. Hey, you're going to get a couple holes in the leaves. You're going to dry into powder anyway. Who cares? But if you let it grow and you let it go, then your ladybug population will spike and keep your pest population lower throughout the rest of your growing season. And you get a superfood to add to your pantry, of course. Let's not forget that little bit. People spend an enormous amount of money. I mean, it is a crazy amount of money that people spend on nutrition supplements. You just take a look on Amazon or any of your other fine online shopping experience portals that you wish, and just look for nutritional supplements. People are paying a ton of money for these things. You plant nettle in your yard, it grows back year after year. All you have to do is manage it. This patch of nettle has actually escaped our yard. It's getting into the neighbor's property. I'm actually standing over here on the neighbor's property, my apologies, to clear up this mess. So I hope you'll forgive the indulgence. We're getting ready to reinforce this retaining wall on the south side of the driveway, which hopefully should keep things in their place. You know what they say, good fences make good neighbors. See, right here on the edge, you get plenty of sunshine, good healthy soil, good strong plant. But if you're going to get the best of the nutritive properties of the plant, you want to harvest them before they go to seed. They're forming flowers right now, so we really need to get these harvested. Now we leave a little patch of nettle right there in between the German iris and the yellow flag. All right, and I can get started on plucking these leaves. It's pretty simple in procedure. We just wear gloves and then get as much of good green leaf as we can. Try to avoid a lot of stem. It's the leaf that contains up to 40% crude protein by mass once we've got it dried. So you can imagine that is a really, really good addition. And since it's something that you can dry and preserve in a jar in your pantry for months and months and months, I'll tell you what, my favorite thing, this is absolutely my favorite, is you do your rice and you cook it up with a tablespoon of this nettle powder in it for every quarter cup of rice. You also do half tablespoon of sesame oil, dash pepper, salt, garlic, etc. You cook that up, form it into balls, you set that aside, and you let it go ahead and age in the fridge for about a day or so. Don't keep it too long. You only want to do about maybe 2-3 days worth at a time. But you let it age at least a day. You make your fried rice out of that. So you have 1 duck egg, chicken egg if that's all you got. 1 egg per quarter cup of your prepared rice. And you serve that up with Seminole pumpkin. Now, later on in the year, if this is closer to the fall, I might want to try to get the leaves off of the stems and leave the stems standing. The reason I want to do that is I want to let the stems finish maturing, dry, and then after they've matured, dried, the rest of the leaves brown, fall off, we harvest the mature stems, moisten them, and let them start to molder a bit. That means they start to rot a little bit. And that helps to remove most of the soft organic tissue, soft matter, leaving stiff fibers behind. They're not as abundant as flax, but apparently they can be spun into cordage or cloth. I think that might be worth a shot, if nothing else. I can say I made my own string, right? I think that's something that might be valuable to keep around as a skill, even if you don't necessarily rely on it on a regular basis. But as far as this stuff goes, by golly, have you seen the price of nutritive supplements out there? I'm paying myself right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm paying myself with high quality ingredients and saving myself a bundle on what I'd be paying for them if I had to order them up. You go look. I'll bet you, there's probably even a product tag that's been associated with this video, even though I am not selling this powder myself. This is personal use only, guys. But I'll bet you if you look around, you might see a product tag for somebody that's selling. You can see how much it's going for. Is it worth the hype? I don't know. I'll tell you what. Why don't you visit one of those merchants, buy a sample for yourself, try it out for a couple of weeks, and you tell me. I'm sold enough. I'm growing nettles and harvesting them, drying myself, and not selling it, if that tells you anything. Alright, now before we take these leaves in and put them on the food dehydrator, we're going to take a minute and put them on a piece of hardware cloth, wash them off just to make sure we've got most of the dust knocked off of them. And then we'll let them sun dry, and then we'll bring them in, put them on a rack in the food dehydrator, dry them to a nice crumbly powder, and they will be ready to use in the kitchen. Hey, that's all I've got for you today, good people. As always, I hope you found this video informative or entertaining. If you did, you know what to do. I'll catch you next time. Until then, get out there and get growing.